guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Valentina and I'm so happy to have you here with me today. If you're new here, I just want to remind you, you can subscribe to my channel, and if you like this type of content, I post videos every single week. So, just click the button below. You already know how to do this. And for today's video, as you already saw in the title, we're gonna talk about habits that it is important to break for 2022. Oh, I was gonna say 2021. 2022. And I made this top 10 bad habits that, at least for me, I feel like I really need to break, and I wanted to share those with you as well. I am really into habits. I like having a routine. I like knowing what I'm gonna do every day, and there are certain things that I keep repeating over and over again, but I do have to say some of them are not the best habits to have, and those are the ones I want to focus on this video. So let's get started. Number one is social media related, and it's spending time in the morning right when you wake up and spending like 20-30 minutes, an hour on social media, just scrolling on Instagram or TikTok, watching YouTube videos. Yes, even if they're mine, it's okay. You can just turn off your phone during the morning, and whatever it is, even like checking emails, just try to avoid that. I feel like for me, even though I'm conscious that this is not the best decision I can make in the morning, every time and every morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is grab my phone and scroll through Instagram, my YouTube analytics, and like just checking everything's fine, which most of the time it is. Nothing really crazy happens that I really need to check my phone in the morning. So I think that's a really big habit. Everyone mentions this habit over and over again, but I feel like most of us are still guilty of doing this every morning. So this is a habit I really want to break by 2022. Number two is not drinking enough water, and this can also apply to either not drinking enough water or drinking too much of other drinks, including sodas or alcohol or even coffee. I know a lot of people that have a coffee addiction, and even though coffee is not necessarily really bad for you, when you have 8 cups a day, it can definitely affect your health. I've heard about so many people going off caffeine, and they say like the first month is horrible, but then they feel so full of energy. And I personally don't drink coffee too often. I drink coffee like maybe once or twice a week because I like the taste, and I do decaf coffee just because caffeine really makes me really anxious. So I don't really drink that much coffee, but I definitely don't drink enough water. So whatever it is for you, just try to focus on drinking healthier beverages and drinking a lot more water so that you feel healthier. Number 3 is stress eating. So I usually go through 2 different phases. Phase 1 is if I'm really sad, I just don't eat at all and I lose a lot of weight, which is horrible. But if I'm anxious or if I'm too stressed about something specific, I eat a lot, and I eat all day non-stop, and it's usually sweets and candies and chocolate and pretzels and all these things that you should not be eating that much. I don't believe in stop eating things unless you have like an allergy or something like that, but in general I think it's good to have a balance. I would never give up my cakes or my cookies or my candies, but it's important to learn how to handle stress in a different way instead of like binge eating, because it's definitely not healthy. So this is a big one for me, and leave me in the comments below if you've gone through this. What have you done? Because I'm desperately looking for people that can help me find a good solution for this eating a lot of not great food when I'm really stressed. Number 4 is also food related, and it is not meal planning. I feel like meal planning is so important, and it has really saved my life, and I've done it for a long time, but I feel like the last 2 months I haven't been great doing it. So I feel like I have to get back into it as soon as possible. I have this for 2022, but obviously the earlier you start is the better. So I need to meal plan again. I need to know what I'm gonna eat throughout the week. It helps me first eat healthier food, more balanced food, and also save a lot of money and save a lot of time. So it's a win-win. Like, it's a great idea, and you make sure you eat things you really like instead of like ordering food because you don't have time to cook something. So if you prepare yourself for the upcoming week during the weekend, you're gonna be fine. Again, you're gonna eat healthier food, have more time, and save a lot of money. So for me, it works making a list during the weekend of what I want to eat during the week and going to Trader Joe's or whatever your supermarket is and just going there and buying everything you need for the week and making sure you have it all so that you don't buy more things that you actually need and things go bad, but also so you have enough food for the whole week and you don't have to make extra trips to the grocery store. The next one is constantly comparing yourself with other people, especially on social media. I feel like I'm over that phase of comparing myself with others on social media. Like, I do still compare myself in like terms of numbers and likes and growth. Like, that really stresses me because this is what I do, especially my Spanish channel, which I've had for over 6 years. So it's hard, and it's hard not to compare yourself to other people. But in real life, I only compare myself with people that surround me, and it makes no sense because everyone has a different path and everyone has different jobs, different lifestyle, different life circumstances. And if I sit and think about it, and I know I'm doing great, I know I'm fine, but like, you never give yourself credit for what you've done and for how far you've come. And I feel like that is super important. So stop comparing yourself to others. You are great, you are doing great, and there's obviously a lot of room for improvement. There always is, but focus on comparing yourself with yourself. So just focus on being a better person every day, focus on growing every day, but only based on what you've done, on what your life situation is, on what your job is, what your dreams are, because all these things are so different for everyone that I don't feel like it's fair to compare yourself to others. And the next one is really similar to the previous one, or kind of. It's related to the previous one, and it is being scared of following your dreams or achieving your goals. We all have goals and dreams, and sometimes the hardest part is getting started, like making that first step, taking that first step towards your goal. And I know it can be terrifying because you always think like, what if it goes wrong? What if I can't make it? What if this is not for me? But you'll never know until you start. And this actually reminds me of a book I read a couple of years ago that I absolutely loved. I read it during the pandemic, and it was so worth it. I actually have it there. I'll show you. Let me bring it. Okay, this is the book. It is called Hello Fears by Michelle Poler. She is Venezuelan. I think I've mentioned this book before in this channel. The book is honestly so beautiful. Like, it's a really pretty book, like really beautifully designed. But the content of the book is amazing. This girl did a 100 days challenge of facing her fears. Okay, not necessarily 100 days, but it was more like facing 100 fears. That was it. She guides you through her experience doing this and tells you a lot of what she learned. And I feel like sometimes we are so scared of doing things we might actually like, that it's good to face those fears. And if you feel like you're a very fearful person, I feel like I am, this book is amazing and I really recommend it. Actually, I'll link it below. Add it to your Christmas wish list because it is definitely worth it. Saying yes to everything and anyone. We have to learn to set boundaries. We have to learn to say no. And it is not about just saying no just because. It is about learning, again, how to set boundaries. I feel like this is very important. We are in the middle of a culture that keeps pushing us to do more and more every day, and that teach us that that's the only way to be successful, and that is not true. So stop pushing yourself so hard. Stop trying to take everything that comes to you, because it is not healthy and it would not be beneficial in the long term. So learn how to say no sometimes. It's good to say no. Obviously, there are great opportunities you have to say yes to, but only if you really feel like it is for you. So stop saying yes to things that are not meant to be and to things that maybe don't fulfill you in some way, if that makes sense. So again, just learn how to set boundaries. And leave me in the comments below if you would like a video just about boundaries, because I feel like that's a super interesting topic. Next one is not saving for the future. That's definitely a habit that we have to break. We are, again, in a culture of overconsumption. We are constantly bombarded with so many ads and great products that we don't need. Honestly, just focus on what's important for you, on the things you actually need, and try to save as much as possible. I know it's not really an option for some people, that you barely make it to the end of the month, and in that case, you either reanalyze your priorities and see what you can cut off and like see what's not really important in that moment so that you're able to save, or maybe try to find a different job. Like, it really depends on your situation. But I feel like it is really, really important to cut off expenses in order to save more money and to be ready for the future, at least to have a few sinking funds for emergencies, and just save for any big purchases that you want to make in the future. So for me right now, it's like, okay, I want to buy a house at some point in my life. It is really important. But I live in Los Angeles, which is not a cheap city at all. So it's hard, but you know, you try to save as much as possible. You try to spend just the very least amount of money without like struggling, just like get everything you need, but then maybe don't buy that extra lipstick that is really similar to the one you already have. Or maybe instead of buying the super organic pasta, you buy regular pasta. You know what I'm saying? It's really easy to spend money. So let's just be more conscious about it and try to prepare for the future. And again, very related, is living in the past or the future. I am the type of person who lives like, I'm really stressed about the future, like constantly stressed about it and thinking about it, or even just like daydreaming about what I want to do in the future, that I forget to be present sometimes. So I feel like it is very important to focus on what we have now and obviously act and like take action for those things that we want to achieve, but without overwhelming ourselves. So again, just try to be more present, try to enjoy whatever's going on in your life right now. I know for some of us, the present is not the ideal situation, but we can learn from it, we can grow from it, and maybe when we look back, we'll just say like, whoa, I'm glad I did that in that moment, or that I really lived that moment and went through it, and I was present and I share with people instead of always focusing on the future. I think it's healthier, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm going in circles right now, so let's just go to the next one. And this is the last one, and it is prioritizing others over yourself. I am a people pleaser, so I know this can be a problem. I think it's great to think about others and worry about others and like try to be there for everyone you love all the time, and this is absolutely great, but it's not as good when you prioritize others over yourself all the time. You are important, you deserve the best, and you have to learn, again, how to set boundaries, how to have limits and say like, okay, I can help you, but this is also important for me, and prioritize yourself and do whatever you feel like doing, obviously without hurting anyone, and always considering other people's needs as well. But in general, I feel like for me, it is a problem that I just keep wanting to please everyone, and then it's like, oh, okay, now that I've done everything that I can do for everyone else, I can think about me. And that is not fair to myself. So if you're like me at all, again, really for next year, try and actually start now. Again, really start now. Don't wait until January, but start prioritizing yourself. Think about what you want, think about what you need, think about your dreams, think about everything that is good for you, and prioritize that as much as you can. And yes, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video.